Hey guys, so today we're on our way home from Naga in Cincinnati. I know some of you guys saw me like in a few yelling matches with a referee, and I'm not super proud of that, but I love my kids and I'm very passionate about them. So I'm going to explain what happened, and then you guys, as my peers, can give me your feedback on what you think. So, Naga does novice, beginner, advanced, expert when they do like no-gi especially. So, and they also they say white, like novice is like white belts with like 6 months or under, and then like beginner is like white and kind of gray belts, and then I don't really know too much about it, but I had two things happen. I had two boys who registered as beginners, and they're gray belts. They're brothers. One is a solid gray belt. He just kind of got it recently. He struggled with competition, but he's coming into it. And then the younger one is a gray black belt. He's pretty athletic and does pretty well. And then I had another boy who's a yellow belt who I had, he registered advanced. So when I look at these brackets, it's okay, like a white belt, kind of newish. I think they should be like a novice, and then like white belts, gray white belts, I think that would be beginnerish, and then like intermediate, I would think like most of your gray belts, and then advanced, probably like your yellow belts, maybe high gray black belts, or maybe like low orange white, and then expert, I would think like orange and green belt kids. Like that's my thinking and my reasoning. So when I got there, the mom came to me with the yellow belt kid and said, they took my yellow belt kid out of advanced and said that he doesn't fit there. Like, I guess they were going to put him in intermediate. Like, and I don't agree with that. And then my two gray belt kids, they said that were in beginner division. When they were checking in, I went up to the guy checking them in and I said, they are in beginner division, but I don't agree with that. They have a lot of competition experience. They belong in intermediate division. I don't want them in beginner. They need bumped up. The gray black belt kid needs the challenge, and the gray belt kid, there's nobody even close to him in age or weight or skill, and they're trying to put him against a white belt girl, and this kid's 14, by the way, who has no competition experience, and I just don't think that's right. And he's like, oh yeah, there's nobody even close. The closest that we have is like a 16, 17-year-old gray belt who's like one weight class up or something. I'm like, no, like he's not there yet. Like, however, I was looking at your brackets last night. My 14-year-old gray belt just turned 14. And there are some 13-year-olds who are the exact same weight bracket, intermediate, gray belts like him. Could you ask them if they would be willing to give him a match? No, we can't do that, because the 14-year-old and the 13-year-old rule sets are different, and they probably don't want to have to, they probably haven't been training leg locks. Well, can you just ask them if they will give him a match? Like, we can even agree to go to the 13-year-old rule set, not the 14-year-old, and that way, like, he can get a match, because there really isn't anybody close. Or you can refund his money, but like, I'm trying to help you keep my money. Like, why don't you want to help me? I don't understand why you don't want to like even ask them. And it was just, well, just listen, man, just ask them. They might be into it. And now my gray black belt kid, who is younger than this one, and the brother that I wanted put in intermediate, he wouldn't move from beginner at all, because I don't know why. Well, then when I'm like, I don't understand why you're just not being helpful. So then they're like talking, and they're like, we need somebody from 10th Planet Richmond. I'm like, oh, I'm here. Well, your other kid who's the yellow belt, why did you take him out of advanced division? I'm like, I didn't. your people did. Well, what? I'm like, literally, when he got here and checked in, they said, no, he can't do that. And your people took him out. Like, I put him there because that's where I thought he belonged based on the criteria I mentioned earlier. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I would think so, but for some reason, you guys don't want to be helpful at all. Like, argue with everything I say. Like, I don't understand it. And they all, like, it's a whole row of referees, and they all start laughing. And they're like, what do you mean not helpful? I'm like, well, like, this guy won't even ask an opponent for a match. Like, and like, they're all laughing about it like it's this big funny thing. But like, to me, it's not funny at all, because they're just, it doesn't matter whether I'm reasonable or not. It's the fact that I'm asking them to do something and they are right and I am wrong, is the way it feels. So, okay. He won't move the one guy. They're just not sure they're going to find anybody for my other kid. So now, my 14-year-old that I was asking if they would ask the 13-year-olds if they would want to take the extra match or give me a refund. Instead of doing that, they take my solid gray belt kid, 14, just turned 14, and put him in a bracket 2 weight classes heavier. He's in the 100 to like 109 bracket. And they move him up to the 125 to, or it's something like under 139. I can't remember how that one works. 2 weight classes up against a yellow black belt. And we're just like,
which
what?
is a huge difference at that age.
Yes.
Huge difference.
And I'm just like, why? Why? I don't understand. So, exactly what you think happened. It didn't go well. And then...
Totally non-competitive.
And then in my other kids match, my gray black belt kids match, who I had asked to move up to intermediate, instead they kept him in beginner. He goes against a kid, and it's this white belt girl, and he demolishes her, because he should, right? Like, that's the way it should have went. And the referee comes up to me and basically starts telling me how I'm sandbagging my kid. And I'm like, no, I agree with you. I didn't want him in this bracket. I asked the referee to move him, and he said, no, this is the bracket he qualifies for, and argued me down and wouldn't move him. Which referee? I point him right out. He goes and talks to that guy. Okay, whatever. Like, this was all funny when you guys were all sitting at the table. Now suddenly it's not funny. And he comes back and he tells me that I have to go to the bracket and move my kid because it's sandbagging, when I agree. I didn't want him there in the first place. Like, this is, and I say, this is the problem that y'all created. This is not my fault. But I do it. I go and I ask him to be moved. They can't do it. They can't do it. They just have to ride it out. But then all of a sudden, they take him out, and instead of moving him up to intermediate, they move him up with yellow belts too, which was fine. He had a competitive match. But why they wouldn't just do it in the first place, I don't know. It's almost like it's insulting for me to ask. So then my other gray belt kid goes against the yellow black belt 2 weight classes up and gets smoked again. But at this point, the yellow black belt has had several matches. He's tired, and he's taking it easy on my kid, like you can tell. Because in the first 3 matches they had, he tapped him out like that. But this time he was trying to do stuff, and I'm like, the referee says something to me, and I'm like, well, this is this guy's fault, because the referee who had argued with me was sitting at the table. And of course he starts arguing with me and telling me that that was a competitive match and that I'm just angry because I was trying to get easy matches for my kids, which is absolutely not true. And I just make it make sense. Like, can y'all make this make sense? Because I can't. And you know, if Noggin wonders why, they, like, when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, there was hardly anything around this area like 15 years ago. I actually personally traveled from my own son's experience, y'all know him, down to Atlanta for a Naga, because like Nagas were kind of cool, and like you could win a sword, which is one of the reasons my kids wanted to do the Naga today, because we're doing jiu-jitsu next weekend and everything. But now they don't even give swords. But like, There's hardly any competitors there. And if y'all wonder why, it's because of this right here.
Half the mats, half the people.
Y'all can't be wrong. You can't be flexible. You can't, like, you're so hung up on a rule set that it's like we can't come to any sort of reasonable compromise. And I mean, make it make sense. It's like, I had another peer here in Kentucky post this in a similar vein, and it's just another complaint I have. Y'all all want to compete, like, all want us to compete and give us your money, and there's only so much money. Like, these tournaments are $100-something a pop, but then 6 of you all want to overlap on top of each other all in January. Like, we compete once a month. My team competes once a month, and we don't compete unless it's early in December or May, because with the way school is, it's too hard. There's too much. There's too many band concerts and graduations and Christmas. Like, if it's the beginning of December or the beginning of May, we'll swing it. But later in those months, it's just too crazy and hectic and chaotic. So we'll usually kind of sit those 2 months out. But we try to compete once a month, possibly twice a month if it's, some good tournaments that we really want to hit. But at the end of the day, we have to make choices. What tournaments are we going to hit? And for the most part, one of the reasons we used to hit NAGA was because we liked the no-gi rule set. But based on our experience today, man, I don't even know. Like, I thought for sure that I
don't care if we ever hit NAGA again.
I thought I was gonna ask to be removed because of me yelling at this referee about, like, yeah, I get it, you don't want to be told you're wrong by a woman or a coach, but the fact is you're wrong.
20-some-year-old referee.
Yeah, 20-something-year-old referee. Like, I've probably been training longer than he is old. I don't even know. But we have specific reasons that we choose certain tournaments. And one of the reasons that we choose Fuji over and over and over again is because they genuinely seem to care about getting your team experience. Like, I don't ask to sandbag, but I say, hey, like, this seems to be the most reasonable, safe option. It's not safe for my 14-year-old, freshly turned 14-year-old, to go against a kid who's 20, 25 pounds heavier, if they're not a beast, they're not a killer. Like, I have Natalie. She's like, she's a beast, she's a killer. Like, I can look at her and say, hey, like, she can take on some weight differences. But, like, not all kids are like that. And so if I'm looking at you and saying, like, they're almost the exact same age, they're the same weight class, and they're, same belt, can you bump my kid up to that if they're willing? Like, what is wrong with reasoning this out? Make it make sense. Make it make sense why you guys can't, use logic instead of, well, they don't want to do leg locks. Like, make it make sense why this can't be worked out and reasoned out, and I can't approach you with logic and reason and you not come to me with, like, a reasonable compromise as well, especially when we're giving you so much money. Or just give him my freaking money back. Like, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think.